Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Tina Jesse, and this is Dr. Kristen Klein. And today, our special guest is Bob Jensen. Thank you for joining us in our Good Sound Happy Hour. Bob, we normally start off talking about the wine, which I cannot pronounce, but I will try. So we have a French wine today, and it is La Dame. And all right, this is where everyone's going to shred me. They're like, "Oh, watch that show where the woman can't talk." De Malescot. Anyway, it's essentially a Bordeaux.
That's our second bottle. Right?
That's right. That's why I can't say it. That's right. It's our second bottle. So I'm excited about it. I got it at AJ, so we'll give that a try. So I'll put this up front so everybody can see it. But thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here.
We do a little cheers. I know you're also having water as well, or vodka, whichever works. Cheers and welcome.
Cheers.
Cheers to you for joining us. All right, it's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I can already tell. So, Bob, you are, I know, we met years ago. You are an audiologist.
Yes.
And in practice, you were in private practice.
I did a lot of different things.
Yes.
So, getting out of school, I actually was director of hearing for the state health department.
Okay.
In charge of hearing conservation programs and hearing aid dispensary licensing.
That's when I met you.
That's
probably when you met everybody, right? Because at the time you had to go through there. Yeah.
Everybody had to be licensed.
Yes.
So I did that for about, I think, 3.5 years. My wife was an audiologist also.
I don't think I ever met her.
Nancy.
Yes.
And so we were both at Children's Hospital, and we decided to start a family. And they were going to move Children's Hospital downtown in Phoenix. And I said, I don't want to drive to Phoenix. We were living in Scottsdale at the time. So I said, well, why don't you stay home with kids and I'll go in private practice. And so I started private practice in 1983.
And wow. And so Tri-City Audiology.
Tri-City Audiology.
Was your baby.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And then did that for quite a few years and then retired about 8 years ago.
Ah, congratulations.
Yeah. Happy
So
to be
you were
here.
in practice how many years, private practice?
Private practice since 83 to about 2010,
Wow.
11,
Yeah.
something
So as a practice owner, yay for you. Because I know that's a lot of work.
There's a
So
light at the end of the tunnel.
yes. No, I mean, it's wonderful. I mean, obviously, I love it. For those of you just joining us today, welcome to our Good Sound Happy Hour. Today we are honored to have Bob Jensen. This is Dr. Kristen Klein, and I'm Dr. Jesse from Good Sound Audiology. And we have you today because I know you and Dr. Klein met
At Rotary.
at Rotary.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
One of my favorite organizations.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you used to be a Rotary member as well.
Until I had babies. But
Yes.
I'll be back.
Good.
Yes.
I
Join
know a club
ours.
you can join.
But you know, well, you know what? How long have you been with this club?
Well, I've actually only been a Rotarian 10 years.
Okay,
in
because I've
December.
been to your club. I've spoken at your club several times years ago.
Our clubs merged. I was in the Mesa
West and East.
How do I start this off? I do a medical mission in Mexico,
Okay.
and I've done that for 25 years.
Okay.
And that got me started meeting some of the Rotarians who were sponsoring
Yes.
the club, the mission. And through that, well, after about 15 years or so, they twisted my arm and they said, we'd like to get some grant money, and the primary investigator has to be a Rotarian.
Ah.
So in Wymus, they wrote, I twisted my arm a little bit. They said, you should become a Rotarian. This was the Mesa Baseline Rotary Club.
Okay.
And so I joined them. I thought, oh, okay, well.
Because I've been to, I think, all of the Rotary clubs back when I was a member for years until I had my babies, and then it was just too much.
Yeah.
So I belonged to the Gilbert Club.
Yeah.
But I used to go around to the Rotary clubs and give lectures on hearing loss. And I would essentially say to every Rotary club, you have to have microphones. And I would make everybody wear earplugs during my talk so they couldn't hear any of it.
Right.
And I'm like, you're losing members because they can't hear. Because I have, a lot of my patients are Rotarians. And I'm like, I can't go anymore. I can't hear.
Right.
So I made those rounds. And then I was telling you about it's just such an amazing organization.
Oh, it really is. Do you guys want to touch on what it is for those who don't know
I'll
what Rotary
let
is?
him
for a
take
little bit?
that.
The The Rotary International is the largest service organization in the world. There are 120, 1.2 million members throughout the world. And they do a lot of different projects. Probably the one they're most known for is the eradication of polio. And in fact, I think this year there were only, I want to say 10 or 20 cases of wild polio virus in the world that were reported in Afghanistan and Pakistan. And so Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, through their foundation, donated $100 million to help the Rotarians eradicate polio.
Wow.
And so that is the biggest project that we have. Each individual club has their own little community programs. We support Sunshine Acres and do some activities there, the food bank. If you went to Cabela's, you probably saw one of our Rotarians ringing the bell for Salvation Army. We raised almost $18,000 in December for the Salvation Army. And of course they do a lot of humanitarian missions abroad, providing sanitation, water, pumps for getting fresh water for people, actually bathroom facilities. And my special one is the hearing program.
The hearing program.
Yeah.
I am going to ask for those of you who are joining us today to please like our event and share our event with others. A lot of people, this little show becomes a little more popular typically after the fact. That's when we get a lot of views. So again, welcome today. This is Bob Jensen. He's an audiologist, and he is an audiologist, and we're here today. Dr. Klein wanted to talk to him about his mission work, which we are getting to. I am Dr. Tina Jesse. This is Dr. Kristen Klein. Welcome to our Good Sound Happy Hour. We're enjoying a nice French wine, by the way. So let's, back to Rotary. Just truly, I always tell her, the most selfless organization I've ever belonged to. It was, I mean, really, my work there, you just feel, you feel so good about yourself because you're really not doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
But what an amazing.
And good people too.
Really good people. And you do a lot of things locally. Our little, and the groups are small, at least our group, we were Gilbert, so fairly small, but we were so active. And did a lot, and you can kind of pick and choose some of the things you want to do internationally, locally, and what changes you want to make. But I mean, it's just, this is why I said you have to go to Rotary. It's so great, and you just do really good things, so it feels good.
You do, like your mission.
The motto of Rotary is service above self.
Yeah.
And that pretty well summarizes.
But we don't see that a whole lot anymore. So to really see that being practiced and getting to practice it while I was there, it just feels, I mean, I can pedal, even though I don't belong right now, I will go back because truly, I really will. I mean, I'm a Rotarian at heart. I loved my time. I'm still friends and with some of the members, and some of the members are my patients, and their wives. I mean, they're just wonderful people trying to do good things. So that's why we wanted to have you today, because I know you're doing good things too, and I'll let you talk to him about that because we want to know more about this.
Yeah, and it's interesting because a lot of the Rotarian members are getting older and older, and it's harder to get younger members because of different demographics, different things that Gen X millennials are interested in.
Right.
So to get them involved in Rotary activities is a very difficult thing for all of the clubs. And in fact, our club decreased in size, so we had to merge with Mesa West.
Okay.
So now we're in the Mesa West Rotary Club.
You're one club.
One club.
Yeah. Well, I know they say, and Dr. Klein, you're younger than I am by far.
Yeah, they say I'm bringing down the age range.
Right. But that's
We
good
love
though.
that.
Because the millennials, they're saying, are extremely, I can never say this word right either, philanthropical.
Philanthropic.
Yes. Very philanthropic.
Yep.
But in a far more technology-based way, opposed to showing up to things like Rotary. So I hope we can change that. And I think part of that is like, hey, go check out this place because it's great and you're going to meet really great people. And like I said, I think the reward really ends up just being you just feel good about the stuff you're doing.
And you help the community and other people across the country and other countries throughout the world, like your mission, the hearing mission. Do you want to tell us about when you started that and why you started it?
No.
Okay. Next.
So let's have some wine then.
Okay.
Right? Before you answer that, pause 1 second. We actually do have a question.
We have a question on how does someone get involved in Rotary?
Oh, that's a good one.
I'll let you answer that, Bob.
I would say the best way to do that is to find, if you have access to a computer, go online, go to Rotary International website. I think it's rotaryinternational.org. And you can they actually have a thing at the top that says, find a club. And you can go on there and you can find a club, probably put in your zip code, and it will direct you to a local club so that you can actually go over and attend. And I'm sure they would welcome you as a guest. They would love to have you there. Some of the clubs meet in the morning for breakfast, some meet for lunch, and some meet for early dinner. But and it varies depending upon the day of the week per club. But that's the best way to find out where your local Rotary Club is, and they would welcome you to come in there and meet the Rotarians and see if it might be a good fit for you.
We'll actually put that link. Melinda, why don't we put that link up on our website? Because there's a club almost everywhere. And you can find a club and on Facebook, that's where you found it. You can also find a club that kind of fits your needs. Like you said, if you can't, my morning club, once I had little babies, 7 a.m., I couldn't do that. And now I'm driving them to school at 7 a.m. So maybe you can do the dinner club, or if this group doesn't feel right for you, you can go 15 minutes this way and find another club.
Right. And many, like Mesa, which is, I think, about 485,000 people now. I think we're 30. We had the mayor of Mesa come out and speak last week, and he said we are at about 485,000 people, I believe. So we're 34th largest city in the United States.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I believe we have 8 clubs in Mesa itself. So
Wow.
Yeah, you can find Rotary anywhere, but we will post that link. But anyway, so sorry, we just wanted to answer that.
That's fine.
What she's gonna say. So about this mission.
Yeah, just tell us about your mission.
it's impossible.
Yeah.
Too
No,
much.
wait.
It would take all day.
That's an old
It's a
TV
fabulous
program.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
When did you start it?
Well, it's kind of interesting because back in '92, I was invited to go along with a group of about 21 physicians to Guaymas, Mexico. Now, Guaymas, Mexico is 450 miles south of Phoenix. And it's on the mainland of Mexico, just across from the Sea of Cortez from the Baja Peninsula. So if you go down 450 miles, there's Guaymas and San Carlos, about 20 miles away. And they're pretty much, San Carlos is a great place to go diving and deep sea fishing. So a lot of people go down there. A lot of people have second homes down there from the United States. Guaymas is more of a working town, about 130,000 people. And it's actually the first sister city of Mesa. Now,
Okay.
Sister Cities is an organization where they try to build goodwill between different cities in the world. We have one in China, Canada, I believe Peru, and New Zealand. But Guaymas was the first one.
Okay.
So they thought they'd go down there on a fact-finding mission, find out what people need. So the ear, nose, and throat surgeon I was working for said, why don't you go? So we had OBGYN, emergency medicine surgeons, ophthalmologists, ENT.
This was what
you
year?
name it. This is in '92.
Okay.
And he said, I won't go without my audiologist. So I said, sure. And I didn't know what I was going to do.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was going to do, testing or training nurses or whatever. And they actually send a team down from Channel 12. The news anchor at that time was Janine Ford. And they do a sharing and caring before Christmas.
Right.
It's actually in November when I went down. And they sent a film crew down with us and taped the whole thing. And so we went down there and we were looking around and seeing what the city's like and meeting everybody down there and trying to find out what their needs are medically. And I said, well, where do you want me to go? And they said, we have a special room over here. So I went in the room. It was a janitor's closet.
Right.
And in the janitor's closet were 2 pieces of old testing equipment.
Right.
Somebody had donated 14 years before. And so I pulled them out, got them working. They had patients lined up for me. I didn't know I was going to see patients. So,
And that's where you did testing in the janitor's
did the
closet.
janitor's closet. And I'm
Okay.
doing the testing. And after about 10 patients, both pieces of equipment failed.
Died.
Oh no.
Right.
And there were maybe 40 patients still outside.
Right.
And Jean Ford's in there, and they're taking me into that, and I said, oh my gosh, I said, there's such a need here for this. I think what I'll do is I will go back and I will ask friends if they will come down with me, try to get some hearing aids, testing equipment, and see if I can build this program up. And it was one of the programs that were 2 selected. One was a surgical program, and my program were accepted. And some of the Rotarians, along with Bank of America, SRP, donated money
Right.
for that first trip, and then we had to find our own funding. But the Rotarians were the ones that really helped me get this thing going.
And are they still the ones that are supporting it today?
They are. I've made 30 trips, 75 on my own, and I've made 25 with a large team.
So how often do you go?
I go once a year.
Okay.
This last year I took 43 doctors down, and then 12 Rotarians, and we have to hire a bus now to take us down there.
Wow.
Because we used to fly down, but they don't have any flights to Weymouth now,
Okay.
and it's very expensive. So I do have a budget
Yeah. Those exist, right?
because we actually go down and we pay. We buy hearing aids. We provide full ear, nose, and throat exam. They go through triage. We find out
Right.
what they need. Full ear, nose, and throat exam, full audiological exam, ear molds, medicine if they need it, and hearing aids if they need it at no
Are
charge.
you able to get some of those things donated, like through the
Some.
manufacturers, as far as the hearing aid?
Well, one
technology
important thing, and hopefully for your audience, is that I take donated hearing aids. I
Okay.
send them to a manufacturer who uses them for salvage aids to fix other hearing aids.
Right.
And they give me credit, about $20 a hearing aid, something
Okay.
like that. That's how I buy the batteries. And I
Okay.
leave enough batteries to last the whole year.
Okay.
The hearing aids, in the old days, we could get a lot of hearing aids donated from
Right.
manufacturers, but there are many people doing this type of work. And I really don't have the connections anymore since I'm
Right.
not in practice.
Right.
So
And
it slows
so I
down.
don't get them. So I actually have to buy them now. I bought, I think it was $14,000 worth of hearing
Of
aids.
products,
Which
wow.
is never enough.
Right.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
I mean, the hearing aids are expensive.
Sure.
And I can't do it. Medicine, Banner Baywood, or Banner Desert donated
Mhm.
medicine this year. No medicine. So
Oh,
I had to buy medicine.
Oh.
So hearing aids, I got batteries, ear mold supplies.
How
I
many
mean,
are
a lot of it I have to buy anymore. Let me put it this way, for probably $20,000 worth of goods,
Mm-hmm.
because I do get housing and some food donated. We do about $250,000 to $300,000 worth of good in US dollars down
Wow.
there. So
That's
the
incredible.
return on investment is significant.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think that's why the program has been supported all these years.
Wow.
That's fabulous. How many people, when you go down there, are you able to help either provide hearing aids to or give them hearing evaluations or whatever they might need?
This last time, we saw about 333 or so patients, fit about 165 hearing aids, and I think we did about 185 ear molds.
Wow.
So usually it's between 250 and 350 patients that we see. And I think this was the first year that we saw every patient who waited. And some of them come for 8 to 10 hours on a bus and come 4:30 in the morning and start lining up. When we arrive, there are usually about 120 patients waiting for us.
Do you take the U of A students go?
U of A students
Okay.
are not allowed.
Oh, these are not allowed, because I know they do a trip.
Is it
No,
ASU?
they used to. U of A students are not allowed to go to Mexico now on these trips. ASU and AT Still. I
Okay.
partnered with them for many years.
Okay.
When I was in practice, I would take, I was a preceptor, of course, and so I would get students rotating through our
Okay.
practice. And the first one came out of AT Still, I believe. And that worked out. And so then part of my mission, not only to help the people in Wymus to hear better,
Mhm.
was to instill the spirit of volunteerism in students
Right.
at an early age in
Sure.
their career so that they could carry that forth.
Right.
And to date, I've taken probably 150 doctoral students down on the
Wow.
mission.
So when you go, where are you guys staying?
Well, in the old days, when there were a few of us, we stayed in a hotel.
Okay, and
And
now?
then that was expensive.
Right.
And so then I would meet people and they would donate a condominium or a house.
Okay.
And over the years, we keep meeting people and asking. I'm a great beggar.
Bigger? You would have to be, right? Because
So
if you're
the
taking,
condos are about, anywhere from $250 to $350 a night.
okay,
But I can put 5 to 10 people depending upon the size.
right.
And this last time, I think I had 10 condos donated,
Wow.
free of charge.
Wow.
Well, I paid about $1,000 for cleaning and maintenance and things. But I was able to house a lot of people for that. So every year gets a little bit better, and our relationships that we've developed with many residents of Mesa and Tucson have allowed us to stay in their condos for many years.
Oh, nice. And
That's
and
incredible.
there's a Rotary there as well?
There is a Rotary Club, the Wymus Rotarians and the San Carlos Rotarians. The Wymus Rotary Club is the one that chiefly helps us.
Okay.
And in fact, this year they made me an honorary member after
Ah,
25 years, which was
That's
a great
nice.
honor
Yes.
to have that. One of the founders of the Rotary group down there, a dear friend of ours who used to really take care of us, passed away a few years, and so we took this 10 by 10 booth that I smuggled in Mexico, and we made a dedication to him
Oh,
in his
nice.
name and had his family there.
Oh,
And
nice.
his
sweet.
daughter, who I've known since she was maybe 19 or 20, has been my chief translator for
Oh, wonderful.
25 years.
It's so funny, audiologists don't, we don't christen boats.
Right.
We do sound booths.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. But
what I was thinking.
there's a small club. I mean, our club, our club, Rotary Club here, we may have 50 or 60 members.
Right.
They only have about 8 down there. 8
But
or
you know
9.
what? 8 people can really make a difference.
It can.
They do.
Even
And
one.
they
right?
do
Yeah.
the best that they can.
Sure.
So how can more people in our community get involved and help the mission?
Well, certainly cash donations are always welcome because we are a 501c3 not-for-profit organization as designated by the IRS. So that's always helpful. Joining Rotary is a great thing too
Yeah.
in supporting the mission. But donating used hearing aids or hearing aids that are just, I tell you what, I had an Eagle Scout one time take on a project. And the project was to take these little canisters with some information on them to nursing homes, mortuaries, assisted living places,
Right.
because many times family members don't know what to do
They
with
don't know what to
hearing
do
aids.
with them.
If the patient's not using them, or if the patient passes away, they don't know what to do with them.
Sure.
And so we collect these hearing aids so I can give, in the old days, I would fix them. I would send them in and get them repaired. We could use them. But that's one way that they can really help us is by making any kind of donation of used hearing aids to us.
Yeah.
That helps an awful lot.
Do you have, does the mission itself have any type of website or anything online that people
Yeah.
could find?
There is one, and in fact, I think I've given it to you, and it's, I won't spell it for you, but it's called Ayudame Escuchar.
Well, we
It's
will
a
have to,
Facebook
Yeah,
site.
we'll get that. Yeah.
it's a
It's
Facebook page.
site, and it has our mission statement, our vision statement, it has pictures of past missions, where
Okay.
we go, and so it's, that may be one of your
We'll post
tasks
that.
is to help me with that.
Yes.
We
Because
will. Yeah.
every time I turn my phone over to the students on the bus, they do things with it, and then I can't undo them, and I don't know what they did. So I trust you as a Rotary member,
Yeah.
that'll be part of
That
the
is
oath,
my duty.
that you will help me,
That's right, part of your
help
own.
me
Right.
perfect the Facebook site, because
Yes.
it needs it.
Yeah.
We do have a question.
They were wondering what made you all decide to join Rotary.
That's a good question.
Well, you know, after having the support of Rotary for 15 years on this mission, and getting to know the Rotarians and their motto is service above self. You can't find a finer group of people who are interested in helping their own community, but helping people all over the world.
Right.
And they are usually, the members are quite prominent in the community, former mayors, senators, many politicians, many businessmen. It's a great great way to network with other business people. And in fact, my attorney that I've had since '93 is a member, and I didn't even know he was a member of the club until, again, they twisted my arm and I joined.
You joined.
But to join is something, and I'm not a club member. I was like Groucho Marx. I'd never join a club that'd have me as a member or something like that. That was one of his phrases. I felt that I needed something more to do
Okay.
to give back.
Yeah, that's a great way to do that. There was a woman, and I'm sitting here, I feel horrible blanking out on her name, that I met who introduced me to Rotary. And then once you go and you kind of really see it really is service above self, then you end up staying because it's really rewarding work.
It's very rewarding.
Yeah.
I mean, to give back to others. I mean, we're all very fortunate in our practice, and I believe in the principle of noblesse oblige. To them that can, they should
Right.
give back to others. So.
And you introduced me to the idea of Rotary.
Right.
And then I looked online and I got on Facebook and I found the Rotary site, and it happened to be the one that has your mission in it. And I said, I gotta sign up for this.
Yeah, she's
If
like,
it's
I
on
found
all,
my,
yeah.
she's like,
Right?
I found my club. She said, there's
Yeah.
an audiologist there.
Yeah.
I'm going to that one. I
Yeah.
said, perfect.
I go, this is a perfect
Mhm.
fit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
it's always good to
Good.
give back to community.
Well, we will
Mhm.
try to help you, especially with the donated aids part, because I can change what we do with ours and maybe direct a few your way. We can also put a shout out on our website to
Yeah.
maybe ask for some donated aids
Mhm.
and get those to you. So we are actually out of time, if you can believe it. It goes very
That was pretty
Oh,
fast.
it goes very
It goes
quickly.
very fast.
For those of you joining us, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had a nice glass of wine or whatever it is you were drinking today. We will be back for our Good Sound Happy Hour on February 21st. It's always at 4:30. It's always the third Wednesday of the month. I have to get that right so I don't confuse it with book club. There's happy hour and there's book club. So we hope you will join us on February 21st. We want to thank you, Mr. Bob Jensen, for joining us today and
Thank you.
talking to us about your good work and the mission and about Rotary.
Oh, yeah.
We'll try to
Thank you.
we'll try to support your efforts there because obviously the one thing we all enjoy with this happy hour is better hearing. And trying to give that to the world. So thank you for your work. You're retired, but it doesn't really sound like it. So
Yeah.
No, you always have to do
I
something.
know. Well, that's
right?
good. It's good fun. So cheers. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And you guys will see you next month.
School.
All right. Yes, that's right. So I liked